Surveillance tech is everywhere, especially in major cities like here in London. It's all around us, from contact tracing apps to motion sensors, drones and video cameras. In the UK, there's an estimated 4 to 6 million CCTV cameras, and in London, more than 600,000, making it the third most watched city in the world, after Taiyuan and Wuxi in China. The cameras can be for private use, like outside shops or on people's doorbells, but they're also used by cities in public areas like streets and parks, all with the aim of making life safer and more efficient for residents. Use of these technologies has increased during the coronavirus pandemic as governments try to track who people have been in touch with and whether they're complying with quarantine rules. But there's more to the story than just how many surveillance cameras there are in the UK. You've probably never heard of a Chinese company called Hikvision, but they're actually the world's largest maker of surveillance equipment systems and one of the main suppliers of CCTV equipment in the UK. Along with Dahua, China's second largest surveillance equipment maker, they've been linked to the persecution of Uyghurs, a Muslim minority in China's Xinjiang province. The UN estimates that more than 1 million Uyghurs have been detained in Xinjiang, where crimes against humanity and genocide are alleged to have taken place. China denies any abuse and says its camps in the region are used for vocational training and help fight extremism. But what does this have to do with the surveillance we're talking about? Well, researchers and activists said that Hikvision and Dahua have designed Uyghur detection systems with facial recognition tools that can alert authorities to people's whereabouts. While we've known for a while that both firms sell surveillance tech to the UK, we don't know quite the extent to which the country relies on those suppliers, nor do we have a breakdown of which cities and councils buy the technology. Earlier this year, a researcher called Samuel Woodhams came to us with the results of 52 Freedom of Information requests he filed to the biggest councils across the UK, asking them whether they owned any Chinese surveillance tech. The data showed that more than half of London's councils have bought and deployed technology made by Hikvision and Dahua. Both firms deny that they're involved in any sort of ethnic profiling or cleansing in China and say they abide by all laws in the UK. Now, the question that many lawmakers and human rights groups are asking is, should taxpayer money be used to buy technology from companies linked to persecution of minorities in other parts of the world? Now, I'm going to try and go find some of those cameras in London and look into how they affect our privacy as citizens. Here in this FOI folder is the response from Hammersmith and Fulham Council, where they disclose owning 1,790 Hikvision dark fighter cameras. Now, this is a helpful map from the council detailing all CCTV cameras in Hammersmith and Fulham, although it doesn't mark out the suppliers. I expect most of these cameras will be traffic ones, but let's see if we can find any Hikvision dark fighter ones. Now, here in the back, I've got what looks like one dark fighter Hikvision camera, and you can see it looks exactly like the photo I've got on my phone. These cameras are designed to see in low light, and some models can pick out license plates. This here is council land, publicly owned land, meaning that taxpayer money would have been used to fund the cameras. So why do we have surveillance like this in the first place? And is it really okay? Well, it depends on who you ask and how much you value your privacy. Rights experts say that surveillance systems can threaten your privacy and create a dystopian world where anywhere you go, governments will know who you are, who you're with, and what you're doing. On top of that, they say surveillance tech can hurt marginalized groups, for example, by being prone to errors or misidentifying ethnic minorities. Now, it's important to flag that none of the councils in the FOI requests say that they use the tech for facial recognition. So why should we care about all of this anyway? The role that surveillance should play in society is an ongoing and complex debate. While law enforcement say that it helps them tackle crime, for example by pouring through CCTV footage when a person goes missing, activists say that surveillance can be a slippery slope and threaten people's civil liberties. Sam has told us that even if the cameras we found in Hammersmith and Fulham aren't currently used for the most intrusive capabilities, like profiling people, it wouldn't be that big of a jump to do so, with Hikvision and Dahua making facial recognition systems. In another recent example, in 2020, a British court found that use by the South Wales Police Force of facial recognition breached privacy, data protection, and equality regulations. And some say that the UK's buying and owning of surveillance tech matters not just from a privacy perspective, but in terms of its commitment to fight human rights abuses worldwide. So is anything being done about these cameras? UK Parliament have probed Hikvision's role in Xinjiang, and both Hikvision and Dahua have been blacklisted by the US for their links to Uyghur repression. Several British lawmakers, including staff for the Foreign Office and for the head of the UK Foreign Affairs Committee, have told us they're reviewing our story to inform future work on ethics and technology for government procurement and Chinese human rights policy. So watch this space.